What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another team selection video on Fantasy Football Scout. I'm joined by Gianni, who's going to talk us through how Gameweek 36 went and how we're looking for the last two game weeks of the season. Are there any special punts up his sleeve for transfers and stuff like that? Sometimes we talk about that before we record, but we haven't done that this time because I want to see what the transfers are kind of live and react to it. So, how are you doing this morning or this afternoon,
mate,
even?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy because it's nice for once having a decent score, which seemed to be it was well above average, wasn't it? And I didn't see many people on Twitter sort of beat 70 points. So for once, Andy, I had a really, really good week. But in typical fashion, in typical FPL manager fashion, you go, oh, it could have been this if this had happened. Or, Bale hitting the woodwork twice as my captain. Well, of course he did, because all season, my captains have hit the woodwork, right? So, of course he did. But, 70, I'm buzzing. Really happy.
Yeah, Harry Kane hit the post, right? That's it. That's who you
Twice.
captain. Yeah.
Twice. And he had one cleared off the line.
Someone said that to me the other day. I can't remember what it was in relation to, but they said, like, why are you not just happy with that? And I just replied, because I'm an FPL manager. When are we ever happy with anything? Never. But yeah, we'll come on to that just a sec. We'll have a quick look at the team, and then we'll obviously go into 37, which will include transfers and stuff like that. We are partnered with FanTeam for this video, and in general, if you haven't already checked them out, there is a link in the description below. So every week they have what's called a weekly monster. This was the midweek monster, because obviously we have got a midweek deadline. You just have to pick a team for game week 37, essentially. 11 players. Scoring system's very similar to FPL. You can read up on the site all about it. It's free entry for new customers and €2 entry for everyone else. And there's €10,000 worth of prizes up for grabs. So click that link in the description below. 18 plus, begambleaware.org. There's links to that in the description as well. All right. Game week 37, 70 points. You only had 10 men as well. You had Jota out like a lot of us, obviously, which we didn't find out until after the deadline, which is a little bit annoying, especially when the injury happened in the match before. It wasn't in training.
I know. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, thanks, Jurgen. Cheers for that.
Not even mentioned. But I guess if they don't get questions specifically, they don't always tell us. But still, you can complain. But 70 points with 10 players, you've got to be pretty happy with that. Kane, obviously, one of the standouts with 8. Salah slightly outscored him. The big one, Mitchell at the back.
My boy.
What the hell happened there?
Do you know what? Like, for someone that had a lot of questions about why is Mitchell even in your squad a month ago, like, I deserve that. He's playing so well, Andy. Like, I watch Palace quite closely. They're my third team. They're not my second team. They're my third team. And yeah, I like him a lot. Like, why is Roy going to play Patrick Van Aanholt when he's out of contract? And who knows what's going to happen next year to the young guns at Palace? Mitchell needs game time now to go, is he good enough? And yeah, he's good enough. He was Palace's best player when they lost to Man City a few weeks back. And since then, he's looked really, really sharp. So yeah, Palace still look like conceding goals, but he is bombing forward. And Palace, out of nowhere, look like they're a team that wants to attack all of a sudden, which is quite nice. So yeah, I was really happy. Look, did I expect 13 points from him? No, but nice to get a return from a player that's like, what, 3.8 million or whatever.
Yeah, I still think that's all he is. Yeah, and obviously Lloris came in with a clean sheet as well. So overall, most players chipped in. I mean, the two that didn't, Lingard, who I'm sure we'll talk about in just a second because he hasn't been performing well in points wise recently, and obviously Calvert-Lewin was the big one because I was really worried about not owning him this week. I bought in Bamford, and then when he came off before 60, I was like, oh my god, Antonio and Calvert-Lewin both have to play now, and they all blank. So not quite sure what happened there, but Sheffield United turned up and did all right. But you even got points from Gundogan. So overall, really good. Nice week. And it's kind of, I don't know about you, but sometimes I find that if I do well, my decisions almost become a bit clearer. So I've put your team up for next week, going into the final stretch now. Obviously, you've got a Jota issue like everyone because he's so highly owned. You're playing Mitchell against Arsenal. What are the transfer thoughts as it stands?
Yeah, so I'm very happy with Mitchell versus Arsenal, especially at home. When we talk about fans in stadiums, and so we all, it's the same for everyone, but we look at some grounds and go, they've really missed their fans. Now everyone has, but Palace have missed their fans probably more than Arsenal have missed theirs, right? You go to the Emirates and it's like a ghost town on match day. You go to Selhurst Park and it's jumping. So I'll play Mitchell, I'll play Dean, and I'll play Trent at the back. My transfer plans before the Jota injury were looking at a forward. And I mentioned on this stream last week, I was eyeing up selling Ian Acho to go for a 1 week punt and to captain and bring in Cavani. Now, that has probably gone out the window, if I'm completely honest, and that's purely led by this Jota injury. So I've got money in the bank, which is quite nice. I've got, I think, 2.8 million. So Jota gives me a lot of freedom. I can go Mahrez, I can go Foden.
Can I ask you a quick question? Right,
Yeah.
just because I know a lot of people are in this boat. In fact, I am as well.
Right.
So you're saying that Jota's injured, so therefore you've got an issue to deal with. But Ian Acho is going to be on your bench anyway, so you could do Ian Acho to Cavani, and bench Jota. Is that still up for consideration, or you just want to get rid of Jota now?
Yeah, I guess it's a really good question. Like, am I saying that the midfield transfer is better than Cavani, Free and Acho? And I guess I am, Andy. Yeah. Like I told you last week, I think it was off air, that I really want to make a few changes in my midfield, but I couldn't see who I would sell. And I was scared, quite frankly, of selling Lingard, and I didn't want to sell Jota either. Rafinha, Salah and Gundogan weren't going anywhere. So now I can, and I actually prefer this midfield transfer than I do Ian Acho to Iheanacho, who, by the way, on the last day of the season against Spurs, I might want to put in my 11. I prefer the midfield transfer to Cavani and Iheanacho. So that is, I'm looking at Gareth Bale. Like, I've got the money to go Bale. He's a real differential. At my rank, I need differentials. My thinking with the Jota injury was always, as soon as I saw he was injured, it was differential straight away. It wasn't like Bale. It was, what differential can I bring in that can make my team look a little bit more different to some of the others? Because Jota is one of my template picks, and at my rank, I need more differentials, right? And it was great to see so many get 35, 40 points this week in my mini league. They've all got the same team. Of course they did. I needed the differentials to do well. And again, I'll be relying on them in 37 and 38. And Bale is that. What is he, 4% owned?
It's really low. Yeah, I was actually looking up. I might look up in just a sec, but in the top 10k, it's really low. Like he's a massive differential. I guess the question is, you got Kane captain right now. You mentioned about captaining Bale a couple of weeks ago and didn't go through with it. He scored 2 goals. So as of right,
3.
Oh yeah, sorry, he scored a hat trick, didn't he? Oh god, yeah, sorry, it's even worse. In the top 10k, Bale's current ownership is 5.08%. Now, obviously, that's probably going to go up a little bit because he'll be transferred in this week for Villa because it's a great fixture. But I would be surprised if he even goes above 10%, to be honest. So he is a massive differential. If he comes in, are you going to go the whole hog and captain?
No. It'll be Kane captain. Look, after watching Kane at the weekend, like we spoke about it again last week, a guy that's chasing the golden boot, and we remember it from a few years ago where Kane was just shooting on sight. He was doing the same at the weekend, Andy. It was ridiculous. Like we said, he had one clear off the line, hit the woodwork twice, but he looks fired up for the golden boot race with Salah. There is always that risk with Bale that he can either go huge or go missing. So I want the consistency of Kane, and owning Bale will be enough. He's 4.9% owned overall, and I wish I could look at the top 10k numbers, but it's pointless for me to even do that in my rank.
No, the only reason I kind of mention them usually at this point of the season is I think it gives a good indication of overall differentials, because obviously there's a lot of dead teams, but I guess at the same time most of those dead teams don't have Gareth Bale because he wasn't an option really at the start of the season. So yeah, fair enough. Around 5%. So yeah, nice option. With captaincy, obviously you mentioned Kane is at home. I agree. Shoot on sight is probably the policy for him at the moment.
And the fans.
The fans. Yeah. With Salah, obviously it's away, so it's Burnley's first game with fans. But Pope could still be out. Could still be Peacock Farrell in goal. I think I saw a stat on Twitter. I can't remember who it was, but I think he's conceded 14 in 4 games or something like that. Any temptation to switch?
No, not for me. I couldn't see the Salah love this week. I know they were playing West Brom, right? But watching those 2 football matches, and of course I watched both 90 minutes. Now, don't get me wrong, like Salah deserved his goal, fine. There's no way Salah deserved more than 1 goal in that football match, whilst Harry Kane deserved probably a hat-trick. I'm just not impressed by Liverpool, Andy. Like, this was West Brom, and they limped over the line.
I know.
Why are we putting so much faith in Liverpool? Why does everyone want to buy Mane and Salah and captain Salah? I can't see. They're scoring one goal a game, right?
Apart from the 2 they just scored. Well, one
that
was
doesn't count. That's a goalkeeper. It's redundant.
I kind of get what you say. I watched that West Brom game, and it was frustrating with the final. The final ball was a little bit frustrating because I thought West Brom actually played quite high up the pitch. Even their like defenders were close to the halfway line when they were in possession. And there was a few times where Liverpool won it back and they just could not get that ball in behind. And Burnley, I think Burnley's a good team to play at the moment. I really do. They are not
They're
defending.
not defensive at all are they anymore.
Not like they used to. So yeah, I mean, I obviously can't sit here and argue with Kane. He's probably got my armband at the moment in my bus team as well. So yeah, fair enough. But you're not even like at coin toss territory. You're just absolutely set on Kane.
Yeah, I am set on Kane. And I know there's going to be loads in the chat that are set on Salah, and look, each to their own. But if we're going off recent chances and form of their goal scoring form of their team, Spurs, for me, look better going forward. And they don't look great either, but they look better going forward than Liverpool at the moment. I mean, Liverpool this is a different Liverpool team to the years gone by. This season, they have had issues, right? And yeah, I just like Harry in that 2-horse race for sure. I'm not really considering anyone else outside of Kane.
Fair play. Yeah. So Jota to Bale looks pretty nailed on. Are you kind of set on that?
I think I am. Press conference news could throw a spanner in the works. It does already. I must admit, Andy, I automatically went to City in my head, right? When I saw Jota injury, I went Foden, Mahrez, which one? And it's only since I think I commented on one of your tweets and someone commented on my response going, go City, with a link. And I can't remember who wrote it, but she wrote a really good
Anna Woodbury
thread.
Yeah.
Right. So that thread, I went into detail on that this morning, and I was shocked. It's really put me off going Mahrez and Foden. Pretty much, guys, it said that Pep, before his 2 Champions League finals, one at Barca, no, both at Barca, and it showed the starting 11 and the rest time he's given them before the Champions League final. And it seems that the big players often miss the week or even 2 weeks before. He gives them time off. I thought it was all going to be about give these guys a run out. They need minutes before a big final. But actually, in years gone by, he's given them a rest. So whilst I think Foden and Mahrez will each start one of the next 2, I can't be sure they'll start both of them. Bale, we know is going to start both. We just do.
Yeah, I agree. I think he does. I mean, the thing for Spurs is there's not too much riding on any of the games now. I guess the European spot, but they're not going to get Champions League anymore. So the Leicester game could be big. Would he maybe rest Bale? I guess there's an outside shot, but I don't see it. And I agree on City. I think that thread really put me off them because I think Mahrez and Foden probably will start this week. And I know I said that last week as well. But then Gameweek 38, which is the better fixture for me, I think Everton's better to play against than Brighton.
At home as well.
Who knows who the hell is going to start? So I agree. Yeah. I think the only reason I would really risk a Man City player is if you're one of those managers that wants to just completely go for it, bring in a City player and captain them, then sure, you could risk it this week. But there's so many good options this week. Fernandes, Kane, and Salah all look like standouts. It feels like going against too many players for me. So yeah, I kind of agree on that.
Andy, there is 2 other players I could consider, and I need your thoughts on this.
Yeah, go on.
They're your club, right? I can't get to Bruno. Yeah. I don't know if I want him, but I mean, obviously, I'd love Bruno. But I can reach Rashford, and I can obviously reach Greenwood if I sell Jota. But my thinking is, I can't bet on both of them to start both games of 37 and 38. Whilst Bale, I am set he will. Would you? I mean, the template's all going to go Jota, Greenwood. 37, is he nailed to start? Because if Cavani's starting,
I don't know if he is. I really don't know if he is, because obviously the difference is Man United still don't have top 4. I mean, top 4's wrapped up, but second place isn't. A win at Fulham, it doesn't matter what else happens. If we beat Fulham, we get second place no matter what happens with Leicester and Chelsea. They just wouldn't be able to catch us. So I think Fulham will probably be fairly full strength, but I think 38 is going to be complete change like Leicester. I really do, because there's nothing riding on that Wolves game for either side. If we lose and Leicester were to win, then maybe it's a bit different because, or even if we lose and Chelsea win, right? Then it's still on that we wouldn't get second. But I just don't. The thing is, second and third versus a Europa League final, I just think Game Week 38 there's massive rest. I think Greenwood has a chance to start both, because I don't think he's in the lineup for the final. I think he's probably quite close at this point, but I don't think he is. But the problem is, if that happens, I don't see why Rashford would play against Wolves either. That means he would miss both the last 2 games. I just don't see it. So I'm actually a little bit worried about Greenwood this week. A little bit. Because it could be basically, okay, this is what it all comes down to, is does Pogba play in the pivot or on the left, right? And there's no Maguire. So is he really going to trust McTominay and Pogba or Pogba and Fred, even against Fulham? I don't know if he will. That's the only way I see Greenwood and Rashford getting into the same team.
Yeah, it all comes down to Pogba. I'm with you there.
Yeah, so I think for anyone that wants to bring in a Man United player this week, I think you have to be prepared that they don't play in 38. And so if you've got a really good squad and you can maybe bring them in this week and then transfer them out in 38 and you're just happy with the rest, then fair enough. But if you're then relying on them to play in 38 as well, I think it's dodgy. I think it's dodgy territory. Greenwood might start, but who knows who's going to be behind him? It's going to be like the Leicester game, I think. I really do.
The other option is you go rogue and you go like, do you just look elsewhere and go Newcastle playing Sheffield United, go St Maximin or go Joe Willock? But for me, I want a team which I know I can always bank on them scoring. And obviously Newcastle aren't one of those teams. You go to Spurs or you go United or City and you know your team's gonna at least score goals.
I feel like Newcastle as well, a lot of their goals they scored recently, and they have done really well, a lot of it's been like counter-attacking. And I don't know if they're going to get that chance against the likes of Sheffield United. And if they're not, I don't know if they've got someone to make something happen. I don't know. I think they're going to be... Like, Sheffield United aren't going to attack them, I don't think. No. I don't really... I can see why people are going for Newcastle players, but I don't particularly like it. Here's another quick one for you, just because you're a fan. What about Chelsea midfielders?
I looked at it.
Everything to play for the last two. Leicester, Villa's a great fixture in the last day. There's a week to the Champions League final. Havertz, Mount, anyone like that? Pulisic?
Yeah, I looked at it. The two I was looking at were so Ziyech will not be starting on Tuesday against Leicester. He started the FA Cup final and was poor, right? So we know Mount will start. That leaves a space for either Pulisic or for Havertz, or potentially both if Werner drops out. So then it was like, okay, I could go Havertz or Pulisic, but then I can't guarantee that they will start the week after. So it's a little bit like Greenwood and Rashford. I can guarantee one start for both those guys, but I can't guarantee two. I can guarantee two on Mason Mount, but I don't see Mount as a good FPL asset. I haven't all season. My favourite Chelsea player, right? But he's not my favourite FPL player by any stretch. So, yeah, I just want guaranteed starts, and I can't with Havertz and Pulisic, despite I think there's going to be some response, right? Originally, I was thinking on a 4-point hit, I was actually thinking, do I bring Chilwell in? And again, like if I were to take a 4-point hit this week, it would be at the back, because in game week 38, I've got a bit of a crisis at the back because Dean is a nightmare fixture and Mitchell has Liverpool away. Pereira's not going to start and Veltman could be injured. So I might need to take a hit for a defender. And if I do, I like Chilwell.
Yeah, me too.
Chilwell missed the FA Cup final. He's going to start against Leicester. He probably will be starting 38 as well. So if I bring in a Chelsea player, it will be Chilwell.
Yeah, I like that show. I've looked at him as well. I won't bore everyone with my team right now, but I might be in a situation in 38 where I just have a transfer to do whatever. And if I don't want to make an attacking change, it's goalkeeper or defender. And if I don't have a Liverpool spot for Robertson, then Chilwell is probably where I'll go. I'd be a little bit worried because if Grealish is getting minutes by them, but your defence is just so good, I'd always back them. So, yeah, no, I like that shout. So, just to wrap up, we are looking at Kane captain, absolutely sold on that. Yeah, no chance of moving to Salah, and Jota to Bale. And then that is it. No other transfers, no hits this week.
Yeah, possibly Chilwell once I've had a look at my 38 plan. I might need, if I end up taking a hit in 38 for a defender, I may as well do it in 37 and improve my 37 team, right? So it just comes down to in 38, for example, the Veltman injury news. If I know Veltman can play in 38 against Arsenal, maybe I don't need to force my hand and go for a defensive move. But again, I'm waiting on press conference news for that.
Cool, fair enough. All right, we will wrap it up there. Do give it a like if you enjoyed it and hit subscribe if you are new. We'll obviously be doing a Gameweek 38 team selection as well. I think we did we decide on the day? I think, or did you just tell? You told me the day, didn't you? But we didn't decide on it. Probably do Thursday.
Thursday, Friday, yeah, I'm easy.
Okay, we'll be back on Thursday, I reckon, to do that. And obviously we'll talk through 38. All the games will have finished by then, so we can see how different and stuff we're going with captaincy transfers and stuff like that. Gianni, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, mate. Good to chat. And yeah, look forward to the midweek fixtures. Nice to have all the games within 2 days. That's a treat.
I cannot wait. And some of them on at the same time as well. It's going to be glorious. We will be back with the Scoutcast tonight with Joe and Seb. And tomorrow we've got a video from Oscar before team news with me and Neil. And then obviously we'll have all the content to take you through next week as well. So thanks for watching. Give the video a like and we'll see you soon.